This is Solo P1. Welcome to the F1 Flaming Tarmac. This is episode 93 and we are ready to go. We got a Mercedes 1 and 2 again. Mercedes 1 and 2. Congratulations to Mercedes. Congratulations to Total Hammer and all the masses over there in Brixworth or Braxworth, wherever it scored. But yeah, big up to them, man. Yeah, they done it, man. They done it. But look, there's a long way to go. There's a long way to go. Let me just fix my mic. Thought I fixed this mic, every single time.
Done. That's good. So yeah, congratulations to Total Hammer and not Total Hammer. So Mercedes. Big up to them, man. This is F1 Flaming Tarmac for people listening on the iTunes, the Spotify, and the Amazon Music and Stitcher. This one goes on the podcast audio. So if you don't want to look at our ugly faces, you can always listen to us in the car. You can listen to us at the gym. You can listen to us when you're just walking through the park, walking your dog. Yes. Walking your dog, you can listen to your podcast. But make sure when you listen to your podcast, you got one ear so you can see the road so you don't get knocked over. Remember that. Safety first while you're listening to this amazing podcast. So big up to everybody on this Friday night. Thanks for joining us on this Friday night. When the F1 times go back to normal times, we will be doing these much earlier. Obviously, we're doing it now because it's a little bit later. I didn't stay up and watch it live. I'm not going to watch it live, not in the UK time. I need my beauty sleep. So what I do, I record it on the box. And then when I get up after doing my errands in the day, I put it on and then I sit down and I watch it and go for it and do my notes as well. Didn't do much notes today, though. Didn't do much notes today. As it was only one practice, when it comes to the sprint weekend, we got practice one. Then you got sprint qualifying. Then the next day we have the sprint race. And then straight after that, we have qualifying for the race. But you remember back in the day, it was a bit different. Wherever you finish on the sprint race, that determines your grid position. But them days are gone. I like the way they do it now. I think they started doing this last season. I do like the way they're doing it now. So you got only one practice one in the weekend. And after that, you got the sprint qualifying. And wherever you finish there on the grid, that determines your grid position for the sprint race on the Saturday. And then after that, a few hours after that, you get the legacy qualifying, I would say, the old school qualifying. And that comes after the race, the sprint race. And that will come on Saturday as well. So enough of me rambling on. Big up to everybody. And we're going to start the pod. Yo, now I'm going to bring in my co-Q's, my partner in crime. He's co-owner of Keep It Sports. He's a driver himself. He actually had a race today, by the way. Go check it out. He had a race today, a sim race, one of his journeys. Wants to be a racer, studying to be a mechanic, engineer. He's going all the way. His name is Toto Abba. Big up to Total Hammer. Big up to you, bro. How's it going? How is it going, bro?
It's going well.
Yo.
It's going well. Again, like you said, I've recently had a league.
How did it go?
It was all right. It was good.
You never crashed into that one there.
No. Finishing sixth. The clean race. There was an F1.
Oh, yeah, the karting race yesterday as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
You don't know where it is. Just keep that undercoat, obviously. But how was the race?
There's an F1 esports champion in our league now.
Really?
Yeah.
Raw.
Marcel Kiefer.
Big up.
Again, he's in a different level than he's like up there.
Yeah. But you'll get there one day.
There's another one. There's another big streamer in there. In Pratic, you might know him.
Yeah, I probably do.
He's a fast streamer. I was only like 5/10 off his race time.
Really?
So
there you go.
I'll say I'm happy with myself there. I finished sixth, so
that's it, man. You're getting back into it. The F1 season has started. Toto was doing his thing. How was your race yesterday? I know it was your first race back in a long time. Yeah. And I know it was raining. How did you get on, bro?
Well, I ain't caught for a year and a half, so
there you go then.
I went in there, I qualified sixth, and then I got hit off because I was running. During the race, I was actually running in fifth.
Yeah,
I got hit off. the guy just come across me, hit me off the circuit. He let me go after, so fair play to him. There was no penalty done there. Then I made my way up. I made my way up from like 10th to 7th. And then I was actually catching up with the top 6. But then there was yellow flags after yellow flag because people were not disciplined and was just slipping off really because of the heavy wet conditions, which is just understandable. I was losing a lot of time with the yellow flags. There was a few.
Move your camera a little bit, bro.
There was a few penalties actually been given out due to people spinning the yellow flag. So I don't know about that one. But there was a few disqualifications due to spinning the yellow flags, stuff like that. But again, everything went all well. I wish it was dry, but of course, always on the day I go karting, it's wet. It's a UK for you. But yeah, that's it.
That's good, bro. That's good. As long as you do your thing. And look, you started 6th and you finished 6th. There you go. You can't go wrong with that. And plus, you got hit over it. You got hit as well. So they hit you off the track and you still come back and you got 6th place as well. Big up. If you got any videos and that, put them up on your channel and or on this channel as well on the shorts. Do your thing or do you talk about it? People want to hear these things, man. People want to see on your journey. You know, I know sometimes you look. A lot of the time, sometimes you might think, "Oh no, nobody wants to see," but they do, man. People that follow you, you got big following on TikTok, so you're following on TikTok as well. Congratulations. Got regular people coming in your stream. People want to know your journey, man, because when people know your journey, they feel like they know you as well. And you know what I mean? You never know what happens, man, but keep doing your thing. And I know you're doing your thing at college as well. Go on uni, do your end. Go all the way, bro. I'm telling you now, go all the way. I've known you for a long time. I know your family as well. We're all involved. Just get there, man. You'll get there.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Formula One. The lack of Formula One. We know, like I said before, you came on, the first day is always the sprint weekend. We only got like one practice for the weekend. So basically, for me, the practice is like a qualifying for me. There's only one practice for the entire weekend. Before we even get into that, what was Lewis doing? What was Lewis doing, bro? Man, you know what? He nearly got himself a penalty, man. Even Lando, he let Lando go and he said to Lando, "Now I'm going to challenge you here." What was going on there, bro? What was going on with Lewis?
I don't know.
All we could do was just joke about it, bro. It's just funny.
It was a racing incident in my book. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Lando tried to let him go. Then it is a very, very tight corner. Then Lewis tried to go around the outside of him. I think as a driver there, it's a bit of a misjudgment on where Lewis is going to go. Where Lewis can go inside or outside to go take him. So, yeah. But on the other hand, Lando was, if you're going to let someone go in a fast lap, you get off the racing line. And Lando was kind of easing off to the racing line. But on the other hand, it is a confusion between the drivers. So, there was no damage being done. Just a touch of wheels. There was no really serious damage being done there. If there was serious damage being done there, maybe there'll be a different outcome. But there wasn't. So, race incident.
Yeah, it was a racing incident, but it still was crazy, innit? What was he doing, man? But you know what? Look, at the beginning of the weekend, yeah, they kept talking about this new wing, yeah? We watched it in winter testing, yeah? We watched it in testing with this new wing. Then the basic is it's like a normal rear wing, but it looks like it's put on the other way around. It's got they've got some innovation on there. It looks absolutely outstanding. I don't think they've cracked it yet because this weekend, basically, they come out and said, look, we're going to be looking at this wing. Everybody said, yeah, this is gonna give the car the advantage. Look, the Chinese Grand Prix is like a draggy track, so I think this wing will help the Ferrari car. So, in the first practice, the only practice of the weekend, Lewis Hamilton lock up his tire, and he flat spotted his tires. Yeah, he looked like I was thinking crazy. So this is after he had that thing with that debacle thing with Lando Norris. Now, after that, he didn't come in. So that indicated to me that he wasn't really going for any fast laps. I think he was testing the wing because he had the new wing on the car, right? I'm not sure if Charles had it. Actually, Charles did have it as well because Ted showed it at the beginning of the weekend. So both of them was running this new wing in practice one. So that indicated to me this was just a tester. This was an extension from the winter testing, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, because they did try that upside down wing, what they did in testing, didn't they?
Yeah.
It worked well in testing, and they found where it reduces drag on the straight.
Yeah.
This is the reason why I got the upside down wing. But it seems like where they just went back to the original spec of the car, the original wing, the original rear wing, which was the one they used in Australia. So I think that wing is still maybe in testing stages. They're gonna bring it bit by bit, using the practice sessions. But yeah, I was expecting them to use upside down wing, but they're gonna go back to the original spec, which is, again, if you're not sure about it, if you touch and go about it, just avoid all damage and put on the original rear wing.
Or maybe they were probably thinking this track was the one to use it, but you could see during the practice session that Lewis was locking up a lot.
Yeah.
So they probably thought, you know what, maybe this is not the track to do it. So maybe, I don't think, maybe the wing is fine, but maybe they second guessed it and they probably thought, no, this wing is not for this track. So that was the end of the practice, really. So the qualifying came. Everybody before qualifying was saying Mercedes are the fastest car. But a lot of the people saying, I think Villeneuve said it as well. I think Villeneuve said it. And a lot of Ted said it, some other people on the panel, they were saying maybe it could change at any time. They reckon it's going to be like Ferrari, even McLaren are showing a little something compared to in Australia. Look, Norris getting third place, you get me? So it's not like, you know, like, because you remember when it was at Australia, they were saying at Australia that the when they go to China, it's going to be completely different. We know it's a new track, that's obvious, but you know, grid position and finish, it might be a little bit different. So beginning of the weekend, when they're speaking Oscar Piastri, they're saying to Piastri, what's your chances of this weekend? But you know how drivers are, they always play it down, innit? You'll have Lewis Hamilton when he was winning 5-6 races in a row. They was asking him how you're going to do this weekend, and he said, we'll see what happens. It's going to be a difficult weekend, and when you know he's going to win. Oscar Piastri was saying that it's going to be much of the same for him. He don't reckon we've made any improvements. But I think for me, I think Norris looked good in this qualifying. He finished third. So what was your thoughts on the overall qualifying, really? I'm not going to really go on long with the video because it is late.
I wanted to mention, I don't know if we mentioned something about practice about that MGUK problem with Lewis.
Yeah, go ahead. You say what you want, bro.
With the brakes, because we all know the MGUK. It basically, you know how you got power steering in the car where it helps the car to steer? It's the exact opposite. It helps the car to slow down. That's a part of the MGUK system. And there was problems with that because that weren't a driver issue. No way. That weren't a driver issue.
No.
Because it just locked up out of the blue, like automatically. And it's like, if it was a driver issue, Lewis wouldn't be complaining on the radio about it, you know? Lewis would complain on the radio, say it just locked up because maybe the MGUK was a system for the car to slow down, but maybe there was a problem there. There's a whole lot to dive into about that, but that was the problem, which was a bit weird. There was problems with that in Australia as well, where drivers are just automatically just locking up or just spinning out, and it was a bit weird. Anthony was with the Sky Pad about it, that just all of a sudden just randomly just spins out and locks up, you know. Maybe there's too much assistance to slowing the car down. There's different problems about it. There's different problems about it. But yeah, that's what I got to say on that issue. It's a bit weird. Hopefully I don't happen to enjoy on the weekend. Hopefully Ferrari gets their stuff right. And but yeah, that's it really for me.
So overall, the qualifying, it's not going to be a long video because obviously on Sunday we're going to go more into depth. Sunday or Monday, depends, because I know the football's on Sunday as well. So we'll see how that goes. But we might be able to fit it in because obviously the Formula One's on first. Liverpool's playing in the evening. But overall, I thought, look, Russell got the pole. Congratulations. Antonelli got second. Lando, Norris got third. Lewis got fourth. Out qualifying Charles Leclerc. Lewis has got a habit of doing well here. He's won it 6 times. I think this is what I look at, yeah. The highlight of the weekend so far for me is the way and I'm not surprised, the way Red Bull is suddenly just dropped in pace. Now, last year, yeah, me and you was discussing this about Red Bull. So look, when the new regulations kick in, we said this week after week when we was talking about Formula One, when the new regulations kick in, what's going to happen? They've got a new engine, new drive track. Everything's new at Red Bull. They've lost Adrian Newey. They've lost Christian Horner. I know Christian Horner wasn't the engineer, but he's still influence on the team, can get things done. When you lose all them kind of, when you lose that kind of stuff, you kind of dip. It happened with Mercedes when Mercedes lost a couple of key influencers in the team. And I think that's happening to Red Bull now. Now, I can't see Red Bull winning anything this year. It's just not going to happen. I don't care what anyone says. It's not there. They have to build up from the ground up again. So what's your thoughts on Red Bull? I know Red Bull was never going to win the title. I said this last year. But how they're 1 second off Mercedes. 1 second.
I wouldn't say embarrassing, but in terms of if you actually look at the tenths of a second and actually look at the gap, it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah.
1 second behind Mercedes.
Yeah.
McLaren seems to improve.
Yeah, they have, definitely.
Australia.
And I knew they would.
Now only 7/10 behind Mercedes. It's nowhere near good enough.
No.
And it's still far, but there's an improvement there because they were over a second behind Mercedes.
Yeah.
It seems like Red Bull can't really find it. You know, they've got the new 4-power unit in it, Ford engine as well. With Ford now. I think it's a Red Bull engine and 4-power unit in it. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So they got they got a junior engine.
That's why, because they've got a Mercedes engine. That's helping.
Yeah. So Red Bull now has got a they got a junior engine, their own engine, and they got the.
Yeah. They're Ford. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I was on about McLaren.
So when you get a new manufacturer supplying your power units and you build your own engine,
takes time.
It takes time to get used to new regulations. So you probably won't see Red Bull up there. Maybe in the Cup 3 or 4 years, maybe you'll see a bit of improvement because you need laps and laps and laps to. That's the most important thing about Formula One is getting your laps, getting the data. But yeah, at the moment you can see that nowhere near. They're over a second off the pace. So yeah, there's going to be some problems for Red Bull. I still think they can fight for points, definitely, and I still think they are a top 5 team. Definitely, I think Hadjar, Max, 2 good drivers there, can definitely have the capability to finish in the top 5 or top 6. Maybe for podiums in the future, depends how, because you know how Red Bull has the all right strategy.
Max finished 8th, by the way.
Yeah. Red Bull tends to be better in the race due to like the strategy and all that. I know.
That means Gasly, the Alpine, finished in front of him. He did slip at the end in one of his laps. I'm not sure if it was his last lap. I saw him slip. That was now he won his last lap, but he did slip onto the gravel. You know why? He's trying to eke all the power out of the car, and he started giving him, and people are going to realize, right, that Max is not as good as people say that he's. That all them years when he was winning because he had the car. I remember people saying that Max was after and he don't need the car, put him in any car, he'd win. No. They're the novices of Formula One. It was the car. He had Adrian Newey. Adrian Newey was there. The ground effect, suited Red Bull. You know why they suited Red Bull? Because out of all the team principals, out of all the engineers, there was only one man in Formula One who had a thesis. The guy went to university and studied it. He had a thesis in ground effect cars, and that was Adrian Newey. That's why he nailed it. You get me? He nailed the regulations. This is why they were so fast. Now, it's a new generation now, isn't it? It's a new generation. And that's just the way Formula One goes. Can I tell you something now? I'm gonna put out a bold statement now before we head off. You know, Aston Martin, I think they're gonna get better. You know why? Because they've got Adrian Newey. I think Adrian Newey he's not gonna do it now. I think he's gonna do it round about the halfway through the season. I think Aston Martin's gonna click. They ain't gonna win no. I'm not saying they're gonna win the races, but I think they're gonna be there. I think they're gonna be challenging for maybe a podium. I just think that he's gonna get that car. He's gonna get that car ready. I think that's what I think, Toto.
Yeah, it could be. They had a really, really poor start. It's testing, having the more or less laps completed. having really, really low completed laps going into practice sessions as well. They're starting to run the car more for more laps, which is good because you need data and to improve the car. And everything's on the computer, innit? Data and all that. They need the laps. That's all it is. It's not all it is. It's not all it is. There's a lot of stuff. Then just more laps. Laps are just part of it to get the to see what the problem with the car and how to make it quicker and all that. It takes time because they had that vibration issue, didn't they? And it will cause permanent nerve damage to the driver's hand. So again, you don't want that, do you? No. And they couldn't really complete a full race. Stroll was 13 laps behind, coming in the pits, coming out again. Alonso, before it was out at one time, then he came out again. What was all that about?
Crazy.
We've got to see what it is.
So that's it, man. We're heading off. Big up to everybody. Got anything to say, Toto, before we head off?
No, nothing else to say now.
Big up to everyone. Thanks for listening on audio. If you watch it, I know it's late. I know the race is finished. It is what it is. Qualifying. We will be back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. On Sunday. For the race, we're not going to be doing one tomorrow for the qualifying, and we'll talk about all that on Sunday. But yeah, we're heading off, man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Remember, like the video, smack the like video, and yeah, that's it, bro. Let me get the thing up. That's it, then. Big up. See you later, guys. Big up. See you later, Toto. Big up, man. Nice for joining, man.
Yeah.